Good afternoon, Crusader fans, and welcome to the latest edition of the Valpo Coaches Show. I'm Brad Collignon, joined again with head baseball coach Brian Schmack. Brian, good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. You too. Looking good.
Yeah. Came back from Jacksonville State with 1 win, 2 losses. Didn't go probably exactly how you thought. Friday, the 10-0 loss, but then you bounced back with a nice 10-3 win. What a job by Drew Hassler on the mound.
Yeah, finally did what he's capable of doing, which is just throwing strikes and pounding the zone. Wasn't very good his first day. Probably a little bit nervous, kind of being thrust into that role, but again, just did what he was supposed to do, threw strikes and got ground balls, and big win for us coming off that, kind of thrashing of the day before.
Sure. So the spring break trip commences this Friday. You'll head down to McNeese State for 3 games. Head over to Texas for a game against the Longhorns, and then you got a 3-game set with Texas A&M Corpus Christi. But looking to McNeese State, this is a team that has already stolen 22 bases in 7 games thus far. Not a lot of pop yet. So what'll be the game plan as far as your pitchers and catcher Jake Hansen go to try and slow them down on the base paths?
Yeah, I think we got exposed a little bit this past weekend with that too, and this is going to fall solely on our pitchers. We have to control the running game. Jake and Bart have done a good job. Haven't thrown, I think Jake's only thrown 1 guy out, but again, I think that's been on our pitchers, and we need to be quicker. We need to be a little more conscious of them running and make some adjustments on that side.
Okay. And speaking of starting pitching, what's the latest on sophomore Dalton Lundy?
Threw a bullpen the other day. He's going to throw one actually today against some hitters. He's probably got 1 or 2 more scheduled, and we'll try to get him some innings on the spring trip. So coming along pretty good though.
Good. And again, to go back to the spring break trip, the 1 game against Texas on March 4th. As a first-year head coach, that's got to carry some special meaning to you to go against Augie Garrido, a coach who has won nearly 1,900 games in his career as a college coach. Yeah,
I think in the past, we've kind of been watching it from the sidelines, and you look across and you see him, but now I'm going to be able to get to talk to him and don't know if I'm going to be able to pick his brain if there's time for that, but obviously watch the way he handles things, his team, the way he manages the game. I think that'll be good for me to watch. Obviously want to go out there and beat him and play hard, and it'd be great to beat a guy like that. Not necessarily he's playing, but just a great opportunity to see how things are run, and a guy that's been extremely successful, how he does it.
Well, that brings us to the Talking Schmack portion of the segment. Again, this is a question about strategy, in-game management that you can submit to at Valpo Athletics with the hashtag Talking Schmack. In this week's question, we kind of look back to Sunday's game. The starting pitcher, Mario Losi, had given up 2 runs through 6 innings, had a 1-2-3 6th inning, sent him back out there for the 7th, gave up a couple hits, what ultimately ended up being the game-winning runs. What sort of telltale signs do you look for later in the game out of the starting pitcher to determine whether or not they go out to start, say, the 7th or 8th innings? Sure.
Well, obviously pitch count, if he's very high, we don't want to have him start an inning that we know he's not going to finish. So if the pitch count is relatively low, he's got an opportunity to go back out there. His last couple innings, how they were, like you said, he was a 1-2-3 inning, so he was in somewhat of a groove. If he had struggled that 6th inning, maybe think about taking him out, but it was relatively easy. And obviously, spot in the order too. I think he was facing 7-8-9 or 8-9-1, so again, he kind of handled them. And we didn't think it was, I don't know, not necessarily that big of a challenge, but it wasn't where he was coming up 3, 4, 5, and hey, 4th time around, we need to start moving on. So yeah, a lot of factors as far as that went on. As far as Mario, just he gave a base hit, and I think he ended up walking a guy, and we just had to end up pulling him. So a couple fly balls that maybe should have been caught, or at least one of them that would have helped out a ton. But I think in Mario's situation, his line looked a lot worse than he actually pitched. So.
And again, if you have any questions for Coach Schmack for the Talking Schmack portion of the show, tweet them to @Valpo Athletics with the hashtag Talking Schmack. Brian, thanks again for your time.
No problem.
We'll check in again with you after the spring break trip closes out, and then you'll be starting conference play as soon as you get back.
Yeah, we hope.
All right. Until next time, thanks again, and go Crusaders.